welcome back. There's a lot going on at the Lyric, and we had last previous segment was all about Around the World in 80 Days, a play that's coming up real soon that you probably need to check into to get your tickets for.
You bet.
And other events that are going on right now, we want to talk to Eric Stefanski about those. You're the
you just
chief
happen to
cook
know.
and bottle washer down there.
I'm the guy who carries bookmarks with me just to keep track of things. So, it's amazing how much is going on. Of course, this month is membership drive and our annual meeting as well. So we have the selecting of new board members and that sort of thing is on the 25th, Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. We found that Sunday afternoons work out well for most people, except for me. So we went to 4 o'clock so I could make it back to town in time. But at any rate, we've got that going on. Of course, we're looking to increase our membership. We've got a new campaign, as it were, 90 for 90. Our 90th anniversary of the theater is 2019. We'd like to get 90 new OAC members and raise $90,000. The first part of that is $8,500 for new air conditioning in the annex, where we store stuff back there normally, but it's also where part of our dressing room space is, and where all of the dressing room space is for bands. So when we have bands coming through, like Glenn Miller Orchestra in July, we've got 17, 18, 20, whatever massive orchestra. They're going to inhabit that annex. And right now, the way that Mr. Allen at Conwards told us was that if we slowly increase the temperature, we should be able to get it to where it suits them without flooding the place and destroying the floor upstairs. But, I mean, but really, he said, we need to go ahead and get that stuff fixed. And, you know, that's $8,500 to get that done, only because he's giving us such a massive deal.
He's always been really gracious.
Absolutely. He's been such a supporter of the arts. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, you've got a nonprofit organization, and trying to be the evangelist of culture, or you know, for the area, and it's difficult to pay for things that are expensive, like air conditioning.
And there's always new. Oh, I'm sorry. There's always new things that are happening as well that require funds.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to mention those. But
I mean, and that's exactly the thing. And to bring programming in, you want to actually have cash in the bank so that you can simply say, look, we can do this, rather than, well, like when we brought Eric Bibb in a couple of years ago, where we basically had to crowdfund it first. And it's great that it worked, but you find out that that gets old really quickly. Not just from the end of us who are coordinating it, but people also get to, I don't really know that guy. And, you know, some of the stuff, that's like when you had sent me a message yesterday, the thing above it was that picture of Lawrence Juber and me that you took 2 years ago. And I just thought, you know, Lawrence Juber, who nobody knows who he is until you say, oh, lead guitarist of Wings, won 2 Grammys. And yet he won't let you bill him that way, because what he's doing now isn't going around doing you know, some sort of a Wings tribute concert. He has so mastered various altered tunings that that's what he's doing, and the music is fantastic. But it's like Mary Bishop, one of our great directors, said when Lawrence Juber was here, if you would have known and told me exactly what he was going to do, I wouldn't have come to the concert. But now that I've been here, if he comes back, I'll be there. So it's things like that where you have someone who is well known but not by name. That gets kind of hard to bill. And at the same time, you know, part of it too is getting the membership and the sponsorships to where we can do things without always having to necessarily make money. But to at least, you know, if we can just say breaking even is plenty because we've got the memberships. One of the events that we had last year was Todd Oliver, and not as well attended as we would have liked, because to get Todd Oliver you have to pay. And you know, that's something where if an organization in town, a couple of organizations I know that have a little over 100 members, that if they would like to sponsor Todd Oliver, $4,000 would get 2 shows. We'd be able to sell tickets cheaply enough that all of the members of those organizations and their families could come to the show, and we'd still have another whole show that we could sell that would go to help their charity. as well as to us. If we split the tickets on that 50-50, you're looking at making a few $1,000s for your charity and for the theater if just somebody sponsors Todd Oliver. So it's things like that that memberships and business sponsorships that way are so important for. I mean, and at the same time, the things that we're doing are partly because we have gotten incredible deals on things. The Glenn Miller Orchestra coming in on July 8th. We've got them for $25 for the upper rows of the balcony and a few seats in the back of the main floor, $30 downstairs, $35 for anything at the door. Partly because, as Richie and Michelle were mentioning before, we don't want to have plays or concerts delayed because we have a long line outside.
Right.
And so buying tickets in advance, we want to help people get into that mode of doing things like they would for a concert in Fayetteville or Springfield or Little Rock. This is just the way that makes everything flow better, and so we're giving a discount that way as well. Normally, for us to have Glenn Miller Orchestra, we'd have to charge $60, $65 a ticket, but they have given us 2/3 off their normal guarantee. And that being the case, we probably won't make all that much money on them, but it's such a need culturally to keep them and that music prominent. The same way we didn't make all that much off of Don Giovanni last October, but who else is doing opera in our area in that way? You've got the little colony, sort of, the Opera of the Ozarks over in Eureka, but by the time we do ours, their season is done. So we're hoping some of the folks who go to Opera of the Ozarks will come for our 2 operas in end of September, end of October.
What are those? You got to tell me now.
The Maid Mistress is one, and something with a similar title. We'll have to get Marvin Murphy on between now and then because I have not heard of either of these 2. I'm not greatly knowledgeable about opera anyway.
Okay.
Hopefully, thanks to Marvin, I'll be growing in that. Marvin and of course, Madeline Middleton as well. I'll be growing because of them, but it's a couple of things that sound like they're going to be interesting for even folks who are not great opera enthusiasts, as well as those who are. And that's really for our target audience for something like opera in Harrison right now, is those who love it and those who will love it once they learn more. But yeah, we've got so much coming up too. I mean, I figure after this play this weekend, then we've got the Platters coming in next Friday evening as a fundraiser for the Boone County Heritage Museum. The Heritage Museum, you know, they don't really make a lot of huge appeals for funds. They don't hit you up for big donations the second you walk through the door or anything, but they need to have that support. And working through the Convention and Visitors Bureau and some funding there, we were able to get the Platters in to where everything from ticket sales will go directly to the museum.
That's great.
So if we can sell out the Platters, which, I mean, for $16 a ticket, when they play in Branson, it's $32 for a normal seat, 36 or 38 to be in the front 8 rows or something. And of course, at the Lyric, every seat is a good seat.
Right.
I mean, as we were coming...
I prefer the balcony.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do.
Because the music, the way the acoustics are in there, you get a good sound up there.
Oh, exactly. Well, and that's, somebody had inquired about wheelchair seating yesterday. And I said, we have our primary wheelchair seating is right next to the sound booth. And that may seem like we've marginalized you or something, put you back. And it's like, no.
That's a good spot.
That's a great spot because you're sitting at the same level as the sound guy is. Yeah. Where's the sound going to be the best in the house? Yeah. Typically wherever the sound guy has tuned it in for. So it's great seating there. Of course, we also have wheelchair seating down towards the front as well. Most of our folks who come to things repeatedly prefer to sit right there because of the sound being that good. But again, you know, with Glenn Miller Orchestra last year, as we were coming closer to selling out, I was taking pictures from the top rows of the balcony saying, look, you're still this close.
Right.
It's not like you're in a 10,000 seat arena or something. Everything is intimate at the Lyric. Everything's got good sound. everything is, where you can see, we don't have to have a jumbotron for you to see the performer's face,
Yeah.
even from the top row of the
Right.
house.
Right.
And what I like about it is there's so many different eclectic acts that come here.
Exactly.
You don't have to travel to see something new and exciting. You could just,
Exactly.
come
Just
to the Lyric.
People don't necessarily take advantage of the gym that we have here for sure, and the
Yeah.
talent that's here,
And one of the
or
things,
that comes through here.
too, on plays that I think people, they know the big musicals and so on, and they know some of the other big plays, but some of the stuff that we've been doing, we've done stuff that's older and we've done stuff that's newer. One Man, Two Governors, that was just completed here a month or so ago, was written in this decade. So this is new plays coming as well, and it was fantastic. When you look at the Late Show with James Corden, he got his job largely based off of that play.
Right.
I mean, he did other stuff before in England, but that was such a long-running play. He became so beloved that they brought him over to do it in New York, and people just went nuts. And so here he is still to this day.
Right.
And so we've got that mix that way. The same way with our musical acts. Again, here we've got the Platters. We've got the Glenn Miller Orchestra. Back in December, we had Kaz Hawkins. She'd only been to the United States once before. That was to give a lecture at Boston College. And this was her first U.S. tour. But we landed her for a little, there were maybe 10 or 12 concerts only in the country. And so we got her for that. Jack Broadbent in March. This was his first solo U.S. tour after opening for Leonard Skinner and Peter Frampton. And he absolutely killed it. People loved him. Would have loved to have had 3 times the crowd, and probably next time we will, but probably next time seats will cost a little bit more. Because when it's the first tour, when you first sign, if you sign on early, you can get those breaks. And that's typically what we're doing, is trying to get the edge in that way, as well as in performers that we've had before or performers that we've wanted. If you can kind of piggyback onto another concert that they're doing. Glenn Miller Orchestra will be, I believe, Texas, Oklahoma, here, Minnesota. And so it's kind of, we're going to take a slight detour off of I-35. And they enjoyed playing here so much last year that they said, that's a detour we're willing to make. We loved playing at the Lyric. And again, we were basically full last year. We've got the main floor center nearly full now. And I'm going to say we're going to start filling up really quickly now. So, but other than that, we'll have James and the Giant Peach Jr. coming up in August, which is our kids' workshop and play. That was chosen largely because of the number of people who said, oh, I love that book, and who had seen the movie with their kids and all of this sort of thing.
Is there a junior play for that? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a junior version of the play, and it's an all 17 and under cast.
Oh, great.
So, in fact, I think it was cast last night, so that's looking good. For those who might want to be on stage, last roundup of the Guacamole Queens has auditions on the 19th and 20th. That's the Monday and Tuesday of, next week already.
Yes.
And at 6:30, they're at the Lyric. More information is about that on our website, of course. And we've simplified it. If you just go to thelyric.org, that'll take you to the website. There's ticketing links all over the place. We don't have to remember much. I was at a conference in Texas week before last, and this guy had a bumper sticker from his church, and his web address was as long as the bumper sticker. And I said, you've got to fix that unless I can push on your bumper and it'll make my computer go to that address. So he and I were working on new domain names for them. So just make sure you put the on. If you go to just lyric.org, it's an educational site for
there's many
I think
theaters in the
teenagers in
United
New York.
States that are Lyrics.
Yeah, and
you-
this was completely different thing, though. It's an educational site in New York.
Okay.
But thelyric.org, the Lyric Harrison, OzarkArtsCouncil.org, they all get you to the same place. And to me, if I can get down to 8 letters.org, that's the way to
Right.
go. If I could just go TL.org, but I'm sure somebody else already owns
Sure.
that.
Sure.
Right.
But other than that, Guacamole Queens will be coming up in September. Oh, Love is a 4-letter word is the title for the entire opera, which is September
Okay.
29th through October 1st. As of last night, if I recall, maybe it was this morning, that's the way my days have run, Rocky Horror Picture Show has been booked for, I think, the Friday before Halloween.
Okay.
So we'll have the Rocky Horror Picture Show, complete with, you don't have to pack your own goodie bags if you want to participate in all the interactive things. We'll be putting those together for sale as well at a very reasonable price. Basically, if you bought all the ingredients, since you'd have to buy full boxes and so on, it's cheaper to just go with us. And then, of course, October 19th through 21st, Dinner Theater of Steel Magnolias.
Oh, good.
And so that's been really successful.
And where's the dinner
beloved.
theater
Wow,
gonna
I
be?
didn't realize. Awesome.
Where is the dinner theater?
I think it's going to be at St. John's.
Okay.
I think. It doesn't say on my thing.
But there will be dinner there.
To come.
Yes, there will be dinner. Yes, yeah, that will be on your bookmarks as we go along. At our events, we try to give out the bookmarks. There are bookmarks in all the envelopes that got mailed this week for people who are renewing their memberships and so on. If you didn't get one, all these things are also accessible on our website. If somebody just wants a bookmark, just call 870-391-3504 or write to info at Ozark Arts Council. Just hit email links somewhere on the website and contact us, and we'll be happy to send or bring you or whatever a bookmark or other literature. But everything is on our website as well. So.
And don't forget the platters. The fundraiser
Absolutely.
for Boone County Heritage Museum, which is the date,
Absolutely.
one more time?
Is this a week from Friday, so the 23rd of June, 7 o'clock, and doors will open at 6. We'll probably have some music on before the doors open, and actually James White is then also opening for the Platters.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
I don't know if it's the trio or if it's just James. Either way, it'll be
Right.
great.
Okay.
And then the Platters. I mean, what more could you ask for? And half price of what you would pay for
Definitely.
just the Platters
Sure.
in Branson.
And you don't have to
You
travel.
bet.
Exactly. No travel problems, no parking problems. Just park behind the newspaper or on the square, and you're good to go.
Eric,
All right,
thanks so
perfect.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great
Thank you for
information.
having me.
Lots
You
of
bet.
information.
All right.
Always, yes.
Support the Lyric. They need some more air conditioning units, and being a nonprofit organization full of volunteers, they're always in need of some kind of financial and other help.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you
Eric.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And that's going to do it for us for this version of 726. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and also thanks to the guests that were being here. I want to thank you for making the plane flight back safely.
You know, I did it just for you, Dan.
I know. I'm just that kind of guy.
You bet.
Thanks for being
We
here.
will
Thank
see
you
you
for
again in 2
watching,
weeks.
and we'll see you again next time.